up and up. It's not up and up. Up and up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have sound. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have sound. What a start. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have sound. Let's see here. Tweaking, turning. Pretty much right on the money. Good morning. So many different knobs to turn, it feels like some mornings. Just too much different stuff. Not always sure I manage successfully. Good morning. I felt I had a bit of time. Figured I'd come by, say hi. Hope you're all doing well. Messing around on another character. Honestly, it feels like a busy schedule, but I figured I'd see if I could squeeze out a bit of time, both for the hell of getting online, but also to say hi. Stopping in, checking in. Hope you're all doing well this morning. See if I can catch up on all the different things. I gotta say, the amount of emails from various suppliers and providers and vendors when you are in the process of moving is overwhelming. Man, there's so many emails going back and forth. Okay, see if we can skip ahead here. Okay, so we're working on a shaman. Figured it's about time to get on with something else. See how it's looking here. Old Horns is coming along as second character. Adams has forfeited the hunter for a while, I see. Anywho, it looks like as if it's going to be a lovely day here in Denmark. Sun is shining, weather's looking up. It was warm yesterday. I was at the new place a couple of hours, taking down some cupboards, and it was, 14 degrees at the top peak. So that was great. I even have this sensation of having gotten a bit of sun on my face yesterday. You know, it has that feeling, like a slight sort of prickly sensation. Not a lot, but still. But yeah, so looking to be a great day. And you know, being here, gaming, coffee, what is not to like? Kill the laughing sisters. And all of a sudden, I don't know where the time went. All of a sudden, it's Thursday again already. Now, normally, I would have squeezed in a stream earlier this week, but it's been hectic. Tuesdays, Thursdays, which is, probably my most common occurrence by now, was by chance exactly when we got the keys. So we got the keys Tuesday morning. We were there 9:30, and then you get like completely caught up in the sensation. Like, you're walking around this new place. You've seen it before, but you're still not entirely sure where everything is. So frantically, basically run around from one end to the other. Felt like we took a walk around the even just took a walk around the property. There's a small, like, I'm not sure we can call it forest because it's not necessarily big enough for that, but it's still like a good 2 hectares. Oh, those are the wrong ones. We don't want to avoid those. And it just feels massive walking around, trying to get a feel for how big this place actually is. Ouch. So yeah, that was when you look at it from the outside, I'll have to call it forest for lack of a better word. Looking at it from the outside, it looks like it's a small stand of trees, maybe, I don't know, let's say a few hundred. And then just trying to walk through the perimeter, it was actually, it felt overwhelming size-wise. So I was like, wow, okay, this is actually impressive, so to speak, just in the sense of how long it felt to walk from one end to the other. So at least we will have opportunities for firewood for the foreseeable future. We wanted to put in a fireplace just because it's, on the one hand, it's super cozy to sit and look at, and on the other hand, it's when you have access to your own wood, the opportunity to use some of it to sort of pitch in for your heating, I think is a good idea. So that's the plan. So we're gonna have to chop down and split our own wood going forward to some extent. It's not the primary source, so it's not an issue per se, but doesn't mean you can't have something that contributes. Anywho, coffee, good. Yeah, so. Oh yeah, almost forgot here. I was just quickly going. I'm sure I'm sitting in a completely unbeneficial location for not being on in-game right now. Seeing if I could just like... Alrighty. Let's see if we can kill a few more sisters. Laughing sisters. Anyway, how is everybody today? I hope you're doing good, of course. I always hope that, but still. Some of these are persistent, resistant. We got one. Etched vial. Yeah. So I've been putting in a bit more time these past, I don't know, maybe it's only been a week on the chamois. You can say the hunter is as close to, I wouldn't call it done, you're never done, but as close to being decked out in terms of pre-best gear. I think I'm basically, if you really boil it down, I'm only missing the better boots, and that's a Skolo run, and I don't feel like I have had a lot of luck trying to find groups for Skolo at this time of day, so I figured I would do that later at some point. So been trying to put in some bit more hours in terms of trying to do the chamois at the moment. And I think it feels like to me once you get it going a bit, you get it rolling, you do it a bit more consistently, the incentive goes up as well. It becomes easier once you get into like a good rolling sort of progress. So even though you're not necessarily utilizing your rested XP per se, you can see this is what I've accumulated over the course of the night, because I was on a bit yesterday as well. But it still feels like decent progression has been made, and yeah, that's cool. It's nice. Feels good. Another one. Well, we barely made it. Barely had enough space. I see the boxes still. Yeah, they do. For a bit still. I've started some of the boxes have started making their way to the new place, but you can say everything that we have inside the house gets moved by the movers at the end of the month. We had a tool shed with a lot of the different tools, everything from power tools to a good old-fashioned hammer and a screwdriver and everything else. A lot of that stuff has been packed up and moved there in the past few days. because I also need it there for the renovation part. So everything in here doesn't get moved until the end of the month. So yeah, a few more weeks still. Maybe only like let's see here. Tomorrow it will be 3 weeks till the move actually. So it's only for another 22 days. So yeah. But if nothing else, I'll have to plan for making sure that once we move that I don't have the boxes standing behind me anymore. It might be that they're still somewhere, but maybe I can get around not having them strategically placed just behind me. Let's see. I say that now. I'm not sure if it holds true. That's nice. Hope you're enjoying those. I am. I mean, it's yeah, for sure. It's I guess we can say yeah, I'm enjoying it even now. You know, right now the process is of course super much related to tearing down. I've been, yanking off old carpets and things like that. Will be for another day or so, and then as of Monday we start to rebuild, so to say. I mean, it's the painters start on Monday as well, and so demolition is for the next few days, and then it's sort of uphill from there, positive going forward. Oh, he hits hard. Let's see if I can get this off. Ouch. Might have been the case that I should have been knocking off his cronies as well. Oh, I hoped I had just enough health. Would have been a cool hero move if I had succeeded. Damn it. Wait a minute. Can I... Maybe I can skirt this. Coming from the rear. Yeah, no. Yeah, so no, we're super excited. It's gonna be super great once we move. It feels great in the sense of it feels like a place that's gonna be good for the mind and the soul. Open spaces, clean, fresh air, things like that. Psychologically, so yeah. For sure. There was a big contrast to doing this on the Hunter, this specific Ordanis, versus Chamois. Bit more squishy with 3 mobs on you. On the Hunter, you send in the pit. Pit gets aggro. You just burn him down, then you run in, grab the quest item, then you jump over the edge. Okay, I'm not thinking at all. I do need to res first before I do anything else, so... clearly not completely awake this morning. I was like, I'll just, I can just come in from the back and do this quest, but that would have meant that I should have used the spirit res first. Anywho. See if there's anything resembling my body, it hasn't been pulverized completely. Seeing if there was a more strategic place to res. Maybe here's okay. I guess I could have. We do not want to mess with him, I think. And what about you, Temujin? Did you figure out what you're gonna do with all the time now? You gonna start on another character or what? Gonna grab some R&R. Okay, we made it back. Kill a lot of different things. None of which is what is in front of me. I'm sorry about that. So let's see here. Time to kill. Satyrs and whatever not. Fellsworn. Fell musk even. And oh yeah, this comes to mind from last time I was here. Generally, just a place that's fairly heavily, I wouldn't necessarily call it camped, but visited. There were not a lot of spawns. Silenced. Due to the stench on all things. Overwhelming stench. Guess we better. Okay, intercepts that one. Whack. So let's see here. I don't need the rogues. But I need 16 horns. Yowza. Oh yeah, I guess Arathi Basin is out today. I forgot about that. Drop one of these. I have so many. But if AB's out, then I really shouldn't be messing around on the chamois anymore. I completely forgotten about that one. Totally and completely. I guess we're going to Arathi in a second. At least that means I'll have rested XP on my... I can do this quest first. At least that means I can have full rested on all of my alts before long, because AB will probably be a thing for a while. The only good thing about showing up here and it's fairly empty. I guess the only good thing about showing up, as I was saying, when it's fairly empty, is that you can pretty much catch the spawns as they show up. So it's easier to control the fact that you don't get overwhelmed all of a sudden. I guess that's the thing. I made the mistake. I think I actually made the mistake last time around I was here. Or maybe it was another spawn that just looked like it somewhat. I layer swapped in the middle. That wasn't a good thing. Don't do that. That hurts. When you all of a sudden pop into a full fresh layer. 4. Sometimes you can't help feeling like you're being gated, right? In the sense that they really do want you to stick around here for a long time, since they need 16 horns. They really do not want you to be on the move from here too quickly. Ah, there we go. Niceness. Another level. Not too shabby. Ready. There's been so many mornings, around this hour where I've come online. There's already been, 10, 15 people on. All of them, majority of them, or at least all the 60s, have already been in the BGs. And then today, with the AB out, there's practically nobody yet. Of course, it might be the case that everybody was sitting around waiting for it to release during the night. So they've all gone to bed now, because it's... Ouch. This I really am not a fan of. You gotta hate the silence when you're a caster. Five horns. Also, it's also unfair. Really, it's a instant cast 6 seconds silence. That's overpowering. I guess I should be really using more of all this crap I have saved up. Because why not? Why have it if you don't use it? Anywho, I'm coming to the end of my present loop, I believe. Just about time to turn in. It might make sense that I can finish this and then maybe turn in pretty much everything and then park the character for now. When you don't get if I recall correctly, you don't get the rested bonus from quest handing anyway, so I don't lose anything by finishing them off, and then I can park the character for now and get ready for Arathi. There are so many things coming with the common expansions that I really look forward to. I keep saying this, but even just the weapon buff being increased to, is it? I'm actually unsure. Is it increased to 30 minutes as of TBC, or does that not come until Wrath? I'm actually unsure now. But either way, the difference between refreshing twice an hour versus 12 times an hour, even though it's one click, is just, it's nice. It's a bit easier to plan around the fact that you can see, okay, you have a very short amount of time left. Okay, I've got a minute. I'll refresh it, and then I don't have to worry for another 30. Versus now, I refresh it. If I refresh it a minute early, I have to do it again. Even more than 12 times an hour. So all of a sudden, it just becomes even more. Kill one, another spawns. Bot's Paradise. Kill one, another spawns 2 feet in front of you. Kill that one. Never even have to move. The Crescent Staff, which I got from Whaling Caverns. I've had it for... No, I think I didn't. I finished Whaling Caverns and did the quest at level 20. It has a bang for a buck. It hits like a dump truck sometimes when you get a good crit. And there's not a lot else that can really compare to the 20.3 damage per second. But I can feel it starting to drop off a little in the sense of performance still. It is coming closer to being something that I'll need to start looking for replacement for, I guess. It's ahead of its curve when you get it at level 20-ish, right? I mean, you see even the warriors are using it for the high-end damage. But I think, we're getting closer to realistically looking for something else. Okay. 7 horns to go. Another horn in my side. I'm burning bandages like I'm, burning. I don't know. What am I burning? Right now I'm not burning anything. I'm going through bandages at an insane rate, it feels like, but it's It's just so easy. I figure that compared to always using a heal on yourself and then feeling like you're depleting your mana and then you effectively end up wanting to drink instead isn't really... If you're in a situation where you know that your mana is so low that you can maybe squeeze off a heal and will need to drink anyway, then it makes okay sense because it's one extra tick of mana to then replenish what you maybe healed up. But if you might be in a position where you can get by without having to drink, then why not? You know, it's easier to squeeze out a bandage because then you don't have to have downtime. You can actually see the animation just before they cast, but you can't interrupt it. Let's see here. So I managed to get 4 ticks. 4 ticks of mana while bandaging, and I'm running at... I'm getting 28 mana per 5. So I get back 100 mana, which is effectively the same as using heal. So you can say I'm avoiding spend at 100 mana on popping off a lesser healing wave, and I'm regenerating an extra 100. And out of a mana pool of I don't know, 1,000 maybe. That's okay. 20%. It can basically keep you going maybe for one extra mob at least. Okay, we're up to 11. 11 horns. So yeah, 11 horns. I thought I saw one more. Yeah, there was one more. Guess we're going back the same way. Okay, let's do a quick one. So, yeah. So how are you all? There's also, if I remember correctly, at some point on doesn't it? I seem to have a recollection that the price of the shields drops off, so that there's no longer a mana cost to refresh it. If I remember correctly, it might be in Wrath. Because now, I mean, I've been in the position where I've been refreshing it every time I was running towards the next pack of mobs, I would refresh it because you had full stack then by the time you got there. But now all of a sudden it's actually a fairly heavy mana cost compared to your mana size. So I have to try to wane myself off of that all of a sudden. Not do it consistently. $11. Come on, 11. how Crest is doing. Oh yeah, can start to, you know, there's so many members in the guild that you see so often, and you get a. It's fun to keep track of their progress. You can really see sometimes people who all of a sudden start, you know, climbing level wise. There's I think also we probably feel it ourselves. There's a lot of levels during which we just feel like it's slow going. You know, your 20s, maybe your 30s can feel somewhat tough to get through. Then you get some more skills, some more opportunities, some more, you know, but then, you know, looking at people now, somebody like Crestguard who, let's say, 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, felt like he was, you know, just leaving his tweens, and all of a sudden now, you know, he's actually past 40, which is, you know, super cool to follow that progression. See him start to get his wings. Okay, 13. We're nearly there. And then we have to go to the... Is that one? Yeah, we need to go there to fill the vial. And then I think we go back to the outpost. Autobiographer, you have done 100,000 healing. Seems the rogue left, maybe. Maybe he's done. Alrighty. Slack Diesel B. Slack Diesel B. I'm appalled by the fact that my all my attempts at trying to configure a bot that would prevent the random spam have completely failed. You know, one of the bot had one job. Maybe. $14. Okay. So Arathi is out. Arathi Bassin is out now. Add-on doesn't work while in combat. AB's out. Is there anything worth getting? Decent enough cloak. There's probably some things for some people. It's not. It's mostly an item heavy rep reward thing. So from that regard, the best rank grind would still be Ultrac, I figure, then. if that were the case. Which leaves me the same place I've been for a long time, an uncertainty as to how far I want to go. See if we can finish off this guy. Come on, hit him. You kill 3, and then you don't even get a single horn. Come on. What is this? All right. Okay, one more. Must be doable. Of course it is. At some point, you know, if not sooner than later. One more horn. Come on. Oh, there's... Huh, I mistake that. I mistake the small tent for a mob. Hey, just spawn instead. Alrighty, we made it. Let's top off. I was doing the Baron's Harpy quest yesterday. Maybe 15 Harpies before the 2nd of 8, which... Wing, talon drop, yeah. It's... I probably... Can I get... These are probably too high. Maybe I'm lucky over here. Where do I get down there? Okay, that's fine. I hope this is actually advancing advancing my towards my destination. Let's think so. Oh, that's tough, yeah. Yeah, you know, it is completely random. Sometimes it just feels like you're waiting forever for that one drop, or you know, maybe even just your first one sometimes. The struggles are real. Somebody doesn't want to get their feet wet, it would seem. The bear. Where's the... Where the hell is this thing? There we go. See if we can skirt this guy here. We really do not want to... Yeah, big range. I hope I'm quicker. I don't think I need to be hit many times by him before I'm done for. All right. Vial filled. Oops, you can't turn into a wolf in the middle of the water, apparently. Okay, and then, as far as I remember, to get out, I do have to go around because there's no path here. Let's see how much I'm able to hand in. At least there's a bit to go on. On paper, I do have almost a full level worth of hand-ins. If it were all something that was to be handed in now. I think I've actually also got a fair bit of the manuals by now. I think I sent some to one of the other characters and then returned it the other day, so I think I should have a fair stack. Of course, not necessarily all of them just yet, but I haven't started, I haven't considered using the auction house yet to stock up on whatever is missing. The RNG sometimes feels so bad, but sometimes it will be much better. Yeah, I think I think so too. And I've concluded that it's not. You can't do anything to change it or affect it anyway. So it's a matter of going. It will play out in due time, and then you just keep your head in the game. I'm just typing out a. So yeah, you just gotta keep grinding. Polishing walk staff. Too bad it's not better. But at this point, I'll just skip stuff when I see a familiar quest name that I don't feel like doing. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that too. There's some of them also, I think, you feel you've done them. If you've done them once, you've done them enough. If you've done them once, you feel like you don't necessarily have to do them again. I especially have that when it comes to some of the escort quests. They feel like they take long. They don't necessarily take long, but some of them feel so long, and you're like, I really can't be bothered once more. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, at least we're popping hand-ins left and right. Okay, I'm gonna get on the flight path, and then I'm gonna go refresh my cup of coffee while flying. I'll be right back. There's too little room. I'm bordering on claustrophobic here. No, I'm maybe not claustrophobic, but it feels like a tight fit. This is also a big chair. It's not a little slim fit thing. So just trying to squeeze in here every time. I always try to make sure that I put down the coffee before I try mingling my way into the chair, because otherwise it will definitely go horribly wrong, I feel. What I miss. Chef said he was having fun doing the Stone Talon Harpy quest. It's that area northwest of the flight path on his warlock. When my druid was doing that area and those quests came up, I just said, hell no. Yeah. To each his own. Thankfully we don't have to. Thankfully we don't have to feel this, that the same things are enjoyable. But yeah. Honored with Darkspear Trolls. Strength and honor, friend. Alrighty, let's see here. Gotta be closing in on being done with handing in stuff here. What can we get? Defkin Aggie. I crafted my own build, and now this is an 87% upgrade. At least so many quests to choose from, yeah. At least it's true to the animation. Okay, we'll have to go the logical choice. Goodbye, deviate. Hearth to Crossroads. Hopefully I can sell and clean out my banks a little bit in a second, because they're overflowing. See if I can just clean out the initial things first, hopefully here. So situational, but fair enough. Okay, let's get on the flight path to Thunderbluff. Okay. Yep, we cleaned up fairly well. Again, that's another one of those psychological feats. You, on the one hand, you keep finishing, you do the quests, you get through the whatever it is you need to do, but it doesn't really feel, it feels better once you start handing in, right, and you deliver them and you just see the quest, your XP bar just jump. The sense of accomplishment. We basically gotten a full, well, what have we gotten? We've gotten 80%-ish towards the level just from handing in now. Feels good. Definitely feels good. Alrighty. I'm gonna be the only person dumb enough to level on all of the same classes, man. I mean, no. Oh no, by no means. I've done that in the past, and I've even gotten as far as considering do it again here already. I just ended up deciding against it, because I ended up putting a bit more time on, right now was the chamois, but also some of the others, and got caught up enough in them that I decided that I didn't want to do a second hunter. But I could have done it for sure. So I don't think there's anything dumb about it. Again, if that's what you really enjoy the most, then that's what you should do. This of course was on the private server scene, but I had 3 paladins. That was my go-to class, the one I just enjoyed so much. So I basically just kept coming back and trying again and again and again, because I really enjoyed even just like the leveling process. Nope, no X. So yeah, I can follow you. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. Part of it was that I want to collect more pets, but having only 3 slots. Yeah, yes, yeah. Again, whatever tickles your fancy, right? I think that's fair. I say do it. If you love it, do it. One lad in the guild has 2 level 60 warlocks. Yeah, exactly. We're different. We enjoy different things, which is a positive. So eventually I'll have to flip a coin for which jar to send to raid. Yeah, could be. Maybe you'll find yourself in a situation where all of a sudden you have one that, you bring one to one raid, doesn't get any gear, then you bring another to the next raid. All of a sudden you've been lucky to get some upgrades, so that sort of dictates itself. That's also something that, will potentially happen. So I guess I could consider, once this is done, before I go do the next part of the quest, I could find out how close I am to having the relevant pages, and then if they're not too pricey, I could buy the last ones and then fly back and do a quick turn in just for the hell of it. It'll be some fairly easy XP for that. Go to the pools of vision. Go spend some of your hard-earned money to level up some of your skills. Let's see what you have for us this time around. Okay, yeah, of course. We're not 28 yet. And this probably was related to level 26. I think I'm ahead of the curve, so we'll have to wait on that. Let's see here. And how are we looking here? We're looking 143. So we're not quite there for the next one. We could maybe squeeze it out. Not likely. With only 9 benches, I'll have to go grab a bit more wool from my bags, maybe. Nope. We'll have to get some more. But I think I have it in stock. Not quite. Okay, so a couple things on the to-do list. Have you guys seen some of all the different clips from the hardcore realms with people who, die due to just simply mistiming the different layers when they try to jump down, do a shortcut, and then they just miss by it feels like a millimeter sometimes, half a foot, And you just that facial expression when you're like, oh god. Yeah. The pain is real. The hurt is real when you know, at least you could have maybe gone down in a blaze of glory, something epic. Instead, you just bomb out. Let's see if I have any more somewhere. A lot of meat, a lot of shit. I really should clean out a bit more in my bags at some point. I'll have to do that. I'm gonna grab everything. And then there was something about those pages. They should be here somewhere as well. I have to conclude that I probably didn't forward them yet. I'll have to do that really quick if I can remember which character I sent them to. I had some luck as I power leveled Warlock's Engineering last night. Didn't have to run back to buy more. That's nice. Again, sometimes you'll get lucky. You have a lot of add-ons probably already, but Mailbank is pretty good. Okay, I'm not sure what that one is, but I'll have to check it out. Okay, it's basically just, I assume it's one that keeps track of what I have across multiple characters in the mail, maybe? UI for mailbox, okay. I'll have to check it out. Mailbank, I'll queue it up in my WoW up for now and then check it out later. Mailbank. I will give it a try, thank you. Okay, so let's see. I'll do the wool first, and then I'll come back and follow up on those pages. Click button shows a lot of stuff. Okay, thank you. I've queued it up already. I'll check it out next time I've been offline and come back, I think. New bandages. That's nice. So 300 now. So that's roughly 33% of my health. So silk can give me a little bit more. Otherwise, doesn't change anything other than that it will read your mail. Okay. Cool. Good to know. Thank you. We always want more gadgets. At least if they're, you know, quality of life. We always like that. Oops. One too many. Okay. There we go. That might be a deal breaker, hence the exclamation. That's fine. I don't, I often end up installing something because I've seen it recommended somewhere. Then you try it out. Sometimes it doesn't suit you. There's also all of I tried the alcoholic one that basically lets you see different stats across your different characters, you know, what level of skills do you have in one and the other and all these things, and it was actually almost too overwhelming. I didn't feel it was necessary enough. So let's see here. We might as well send all the old stuff on to the next. I should have enough silk here that I could figure out which one was the silk. And then craft up some silk bandages instead. The only thing I actually, really would have wanted, broadly speaking, from would have been like, a search that you could search your mail so that you, okay, I have enough. I thought it said 10 for a second. It says 100. So when you open mailbox, everything goes unread to read. You might miss stuff. Okay, fair enough. I'll have to check it out. Thank you. Yep. Welcome to the fantastic first aid stream where we're wrapping it up. Haha. That's a wrap. Bandage wrap. And what was this? Arcane? I'm not sure there's a lot of people who go arcane during leveling. Pagan Rod of Intellect. Is that a good selling point? Advertising paganism. Is it? Not sure. I can have my doubts. Okay, let's do one more stack, and then we can always send the rests. This is a lot of different scrolls. So many scrolls. So I'll have to figure out how to sort my bags at some point. Hopefully I can actually, I've been completely stalling out on finishing the water totem quest. I followed the guide, and the guide, basically hasn't come close to finalizing it until now. So that's been waiting for a long time. There's not a lot of water totems yet, so I haven't really missed it big time. But it'll be nice to effectively wrap that up as well, just for the hell of it. There have been a few times where I've tried to use the Mana Spring totem only to identify the fact that had forgotten that I hadn't actually, done it yet. So, yep. Okay, let's see. Here we can probably send off some of this to one character. We can send off some of this to the other, but then they can send it back at some point. Then we can go back here and figure out what we have in terms of pages. Okay, so let's see here. How does it go? Is it 1, 2, 3? I think it's like that. So, okay, what do we have? 4, 4, 9, 11. 11. 7. 9. Just trying to get any sort of 2. 2 and 4. I believe it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it then 5, 6, 7, 8 maybe? Not quite as many pages as I actually thought I had, but let's see here. It also depends entirely on what they're sitting at. Shredder operating pages. 5 to 8 is 1. There's not a lot on there. No, I'm not gonna. I think I will consider. I think I'll sell them off instead, just for the get them out, make somebody else a happy little camper, and then proceed instead. Camp Taurajo it is. Onwards. Onward to Camp Tarajo. Alrighty, we're on the move. See here. So even though AB is out, it's still AV going for the people, respectfully so, who are looking to push the rank further. I wish there's not anywhere. I wish I could, I wish you could see what the different ranks potentially effectively unlocked. Class sets, armor. It's not. I wish it would have been linked the other way around, so you could have clicked the rank and seen everything that rank would have effectively opened up the opportunity for instead as well, as a bonus on top of the other sorting filtering option. Would have been nice to sort of be able to say, okay, if I go all the way rank 14, click, what would that give me? Time to turn in the quest. Time to turn in the totem quest. Totem quest it is. I'm forgetting my coffee. It's slightly wonky, but it's there just to have. There. Just wade through them. Remember what rank? Yeah. Fair enough, I'm old enough that I can always just pull the grumpy old man card, I think, Kids nowadays. Ultimately it is such a small thing. It really, is just convenience. I'm pretty sure I'll succeed either way, manage either way, but still. I think, it's sometimes you're sitting you have all this, let's call it, downtime. You're effectively running from one location to the other. And then you have this time to, check. Whoops, sorry. 1 second, phone call. Sorry about that. That was just one of the deliveries. Today was the delivery of the... Oh yeah, I'm not even in the right place yet. I was like, this is the place I have to go up to find the shaman quest. But looking at the arrow, I see I'm not even close. Yeah, so there was just a delivery truck showing up to deliver some of the building materials today, so... he was just asking where to put the things, but my wife was at the new place today, so I could hear her walking up just as she was talking to me, so that's sorted. I had my people take care of his people. I bet you barely remember what's what. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I think, you're sitting, you've got a couple of minutes running here. That's the time when you sort of, hunker down, check out the different things. The thing is, I can read sometimes, and it does say things like, hi warlord. But then you're back to, if you cannot completely remember what the different ranks are called, it doesn't say, on this one, it doesn't say lieutenant general parenthesis rank 11. So if you don't remember, then you have to keep, swapping back and forth between different tabs on some level to keep track of it. So for the ease of a pleb as myself, would have been nice with these little features. Travel to Baal Modan. We're going back to the fortress. There we go. We're not even done yet, actually. I actually thought it was done. When are we done? So we have to bring it to Island Waters here. Who is back out there? We'll probably do that shortly. Get off me. Okay. Come on. Yep. Tears of the Moon. Alright, that's the one where we have to go back inside the fortress. Kill the general, or... Yeah. Chamois feels squishy sometimes, especially if you're going up against more than, one mob at a time. So I'm hoping that being a bit overgeared, 2 levels above, might be to my advantage in that sense. At least it increases the likelihood of survival. Anywho. So what's that? Somebody managed to squeeze in a bruise weed somewhere right here in the midst of everything. Curious to see what it is though. So somebody planted a single plant here. There might be a short amount of time during the day, depending what the compass direction is, in which this thing gets any sun at all. Poor guy. Captain Girok Hammertoe has been detected. Must be inside somewhere. We'll have to find him later. Okay. Go down to the bottom floor of Baeldoon. We should be able to do that. Oh yeah, how's your druid coming? Level 30, nice. Well, we can really start to see that people are picking up on character number 2, 3, or whatever by now. Oh, that question need help. It's a bit sketchy. I'm comfortable with giving it a shot for now. Oh, 1 second. The wife checking in. Coordination of everything. All right, let's see here. The quest continues. No, I was saying I think I think I overgear the content in compared to where it should be level wise. So I'm comfortable with just giving it a go. See how it goes. Worst that can happen is I die. Maybe I'm lucky enough that I actually end up getting another level before I make it to the bottom, which would just make it easier. Ha! Let's try out these new bandages. What was it? 400. Okay, that's nice. Keep those bandages on par. Sometimes it feels sort of like you're playing whack-a-mole. Just like when you get a good hit with the staff, right? You know, you should always have that sound whack. At least they're not on hub. Yeah, thank God. That would have been horrible. I think if they were, you basically wouldn't have been able to make it on your own. Kill it. Hey, there we go. We're power leveling. Where is the... Why all of a sudden is the, LOS? Why is LOS a thing? When it comes to want to see where the mark is. He's probably downstairs somewhere. Okay, so 2 levels. These have gone by fairly quickly. You know, I was close to getting to level 27 when I logged in. And then I managed to... 1 second here. I question that quite often. Why will you not show through walls sometimes? Yeah. Where was I? I lost my trail of thought. Is the general down here? Not the general. The captain. Come back here. Don't go pull everybody else. I'm pulling well back just for the hell of it. Really don't want to risk him, especially if he runs the wrong way once he you know, starts bailing. Perfect timing on the level though. Alright. Let's see here what we can... There's still a fair amount of people. Let's see if we're lucky enough that we can... Guess I could strategically put down... Oh, we got him coming. Okay. Let's see if we can cut this guy a bit. Maybe we're lucky that we can ditch the others. Just for the hell of it. Ouch. Okay, that was not good. We pulled another one. I think that's a gutter. Leave me alone. That was insane. Okay, so for the fact that the they spawn fairly quickly, I would say, all things considered. The respawns by the doorway, you know. Bastard, so you... Where the hell did you come from? Jesus. I'm not, how is it, the phrasing goes? It's not that I'm running away, I'm advancing in a different direction. Yeah, tactical retreat. Alrighty, back to it. You know, what was this? This was 2 steps forward, and then it was somewhere between 2 and 3 steps back, right? We made it all the way. We saw him. And now we're basically back to square one. The worst part is when they run, right? Because you always end up getting more. beeline. Didn't I have a... There you go. Alrighty, we're back. So it's not quite a hyperspawn, but it's still fairly... So there's lots. Are we lucky enough that we could pull that guy over there? Would that work? Or does he run past the others now? Well, maybe we pulled all of them. Ouch. See if we can get through even just one of them. I figure that... Alrighty, that was... helps to have powerful friends. What the... Mother flucker. Okay, spawns are coming in. Insane. I'll see if I can manage this. There we go. Time to retreat. Okay, let's get out of here if we can. Alright, let's see how close we can get. Let's see if we can. We made it! Or, yeah, no, I did say we. Yeah, we made it. We made it thanks to the help of a trusty companion. Travel south, so we're heading into... This is the one where you go grab the flight path in free wind, if I remember correctly. They hit hard even if you're much higher level. Yeah, they do. Yeah, and there's, you know, Chamois is just still a class that you don't really have a lot of. You know, you're in leathers. You don't have anything necessarily that, you know, gives you too much protection. Or you can say if you use the shield, you could do a lot more mitigation. But came back this way on a hunter like a couple of weeks ago, even against level 60, you get enough of them. Suddenly, all those hits add up. Yeah, okay, yeah. They're it's a fairly dense crowd, right? Not mentally dense, but physically dense. You really can't. You don't have a lot of movement in either direction before you just pull the next one. Okay. So let's see here. Well, there's a couple of weird little quests I have left. At first, I was only just observing how you're doing. Didn't realize you were running all the way out. Yeah, fair enough. See if we can find the messenger. Oh, wrong one. Let's see here, so. Diddle-dee-dee. Okay, so he'll stop by here at some point. Wow, there's a. People just sneak it up on you left and right. What's going on? I mean, you know, have some decency. You know, reveal your intentions openly. Give me a fighting chance to die with my dignity in store. What, again? There's even one behind me. Complete mistiming on all my interrupts, right? I basically just popped it off CD and so it managed to get the cast off. Next one I mistimed it again because I wasn't thinking. Last one I actually time it and then it resists. Might as well return that one quest that I have here. Decided to skip most of the 1,000 deals and grant elsewhere. Nice. So let's see here. So okay. So we wait here for the messenger. This is where he spawns. So might as well just wait him out. Gives us a few seconds here. That's a good spot though. All those galaxies around the camp. Anything that moves. Yeah. And so we wait. The waiting game. Alrighty. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. It's funny, you know, looking at there was a wide period of time where it felt like we were lacking on priests. Now all of a sudden we have a massive insurgence of priests, which is awesome. You know, we had the same, you know, a while back with the warlocks, and then we had a lot of people all of a sudden, you know, showing warlocks. Then we had an issue with, feel like, yeah, we were lacking chamois, and now we have a good amount of chamois either on the way or slowly but surely. I'd say also, I think looking at the what was I going to say? I was going to say that despite the fact that we decided for now on a 3-month purge. So once you've been AFK for 3 months, you get removed from the guild until you potentially come back. But even though we've done cleaning, house cleaning of anybody who's been offline for 3 months or more, it still feels as if that our numbers are fairly high, fairly good. So we haven't seen a huge drop off in the terms of numbers, which is just awesome. Wrong one. Let's try again. 8-second CD. That's or CC. That's insane. Okay, it fell off early, but still. 8 seconds. That's. Haha. Okay. The tent cloth was not very solid. Harpies do 8 seconds CC as well. Yeah. Can I... okay, actually... You gotta hate the fact that that you get automatically dismounted here. Nope. Must be because beta testing people were running off the early or something. Could be. Yeah. So we made it. I have so many of the higher ones. I don't need it. Stacking up on our new quests. Okay, there we go. So, on to the next one. Let's see here. Let's go there first. Yeah. Alrighty. I don't reckon I would catch that one anyway, especially getting dismounted. Nope. No. Yeah, will do. Thank you. Alrighty. Time to continue. Alright. Time to go pay back those Galax for trying to kick my ass a second ago. Let's see who comes out victorious. He's tagged already. Get back here. Kill every Galaxy Scout that you see. That's a very explicit guideline. Stand still for... Oh yeah, I was actually wondering here. There's something that's... I'm a bit unsure if it... Why isn't working? Okay. Alrighty. We have to purge the Galak tribe, basically. What was that? Oh, I was still going back there at some point to turn in the last part of the quest, probably. So anyway, Thursday's the day, right? So weekend's coming up. Anyone have any interesting plans? If you all happen to be in the area, you're welcome to stop by. I need help breaking up like 20 square meters of old tiles. Tearing off some carpets. Taking down a shit ton of old like nails and screws from the wall so the painter can access some clear walls. Pull off some old flooring as well, actually. If you're in the area, you're very welcome, at least. Barbecue and sodas are on us in that case. Alrighty. Closing in on the last of the wind chasers. See if we can time this. It's always that, you know, you wait to try to cancel out the casts as long as possible. At the same time, you know that if they resist, you know, you're gonna be in for uninterrupted cast going through. What can you do about it? So, Scouts and Wranglers. Scouts and Wranglers it is. I'm stuck. Net. Alrighty. Come on, let's go. Bam! That was a crit. Alright, where's that? Oh, the cave is here. Okay, yeah, so we can work our way back towards the cave entrance. Might as well. Do a half circuit. You can really feel that some of the mob types who have a fairly quick attack speed, that you're needing to refresh your lightning shield happens fairly quickly. No, there's definitely a distinct difference in how often it drops off. So you can pull this guy a bit back, just because. Yeah, fair enough. We didn't pull the other one. That's nice. Just for the. I spoke too quickly. See if I can bait him back. We know we can't hide behind the tent because I fell through before, so that's probably not a thing. So it's funny that you can LOS, or I'm not pulling aggro from this mob through the tent, but I fell through the ceiling before, so it's not massive. You know, how does that compute? What am I missing? They simply installed accessible ceilings, but not walls. So I can jump through the ceiling, but I could hide behind the wall. Don't go there. I really don't wanna. For the love of God. Would you die already at least? See if I can manage this. I'm a bit cautious. On the one hand, I wanted to put down a... It might have been the wrong decision. Let's see. Wrong decision for sure. But they're just gonna keep healing each other up for who knows how long. That was probably, I'm not sure. I should have played that differently. I'm not sure how. So you're going to get a tractor for the property in the future. We actually already have a tractor now, so to speak. We made a deal with the people selling the property to purchase theirs. So they had it's a compact tractor. So you know it's not full size. It's barely mid size, I would say. But the needs on the homestead aren't that big per se, so it should be able to cover it sufficiently. So it's a used compact tractor, John Deere 3520. Yeah, so we bought that from him. Yeah, I wasn't expecting anything bigger for us. He said, he had a full size one, and he was like, he said he had bought it himself because he thought he needed it, only to conclude that it wasn't necessary for the demand. But he did offer to sell it to us, but it was very far outside of the budget for what we had planned to spend. We knew we needed a tractor for utility purposes, for being able to do everything from cut the extensive amount of grass, and to be able to do like the tilling of some of the soil. But still, the other one was just too pricey. I wouldn't have minded having the big one. You never want to drop off on your tools, right? You always want the best tools, the biggest tools you can get. But it was just too pricey. Yeah. But we have the other one, and we will actually be. We do have some field work we need to do. If I ever live on a bigger property, would like to get something from the 50s, maybe. Something dead simple. Just yesterday, I watched a channel called Killam's Video on a Massey Ferguson. We actually, now that you mentioned it, we got a good price on let's say a combo. In the sense that he had a very old Massey Ferguson, not quite 50s. I think it's from 1964. That he basically used primarily to haul stuff around the property, and he gave us a good price. We bought his the compact tractor, the John Deere. We bought the ATV that he had, and then he threw in the Massey Ferguson as well. So we have a 1964 Massey Ferguson as well. So we're totally becoming city. It's gonna be the whole classical, the big city people moving to the countryside. But yeah, I reckon I will. I'll put up some different. I'm putting up a lot of pictures and videos once we get a little bit more into the whole process here on some of the some of the different channels. I figure I'll post some on the Discord, and I'll put some on. We made an Instagram page as well, so there's gonna be plenty of places to see. Yeah. And even just, I've spent a couple of nights this week reading up on like things to remember for tilling when you have to till the soil, all these different things. So much we don't know. Basically everything, I guess we can say. We don't know anything. So the whole concept of figuring out what you need to do, what's the order you might need to do it. You can say effectively we have to till. Tilling. Also, I learned, you can say you have your various types of plowing. So plowing is one terminology basically used that relates to one type of, let's say, depth. How deep do you go, and how does the earth look afterwards? And tilling then is sort of a less invasive, less deep approach, which is sufficient for what we need. Yeah, exactly the type. Look at it. Yeah, 1520 wheelbase, about the same as the Ferguson. Yeah, yes, yeah. So the compact at least should suit our needs very well. Yeah, but so trying to figure out what does plowing mean versus what does tilling tilling mean, and what is it we need. And then you can say effectively we're in a situation where there's roughly 3 hectares. I'm not sure what that is in acres. Acres should be a bit more. But there's about 3 hectares that we need to till and sow seeds on. And we don't have a sowing machine. Sowing, not sowing, not for, but a planting machine of any kind, a planting utility even for the tractor. But I have a buddy who lives a couple of miles down the road who possibly has one that's up and running by the end of this month, so we can maybe get him to come by and help us, drop in the seeds. It's probably, compared to the size of his tractor and the small amount of property we have, it's probably not going to take him more than an hour or so. But if he doesn't get the machine up and running, we would probably have to do it by hand this time around. We can manage because it's not bigger area than it actually is, but still, there's a big difference in the amount of time it would take sewing by hand. So yeah, we'll have to see how that plays out as well. We're ordering the seeds tomorrow, I think. And then we have to have all the fields that need to be tilled and planted before the end of April. So we do have a bit of time still. But yeah, trying to mix it in with everything else, of course, is just a thing as well. Balancing it all out. But I think I haven't necessarily thought about it a whole lot before, but Denmark everything's flat, everything is open countryside, so you do see a lot of farmers when you're driving along the various roads. You see a lot of farmers on their fields, even late in the evenings, out and about, big floodlights on the truck, doing work. And I haven't had to give it active thought, but I can recognize now that sometimes there's just so much work to do that you don't work 9 to 5. Being an actual farmer, and I don't consider myself an actual farmer. I'm not even pretending. But all of a sudden there are some of the same obligations, very small scale, but I can recognize and appreciate the fact that there's a reason why they're up late or up early, just to manage to get in all the work done that needs doing. You can cosplay as one? Yeah, I could do that, yeah. I definitely could. No, but I mean, it's I want to say that I'm never gonna be a serious farmer in any manner, but there's a lot of the things involved in lifestyle that I can appreciate, and some of the things that I'm excited to start digging into. You can say we talked about wanting like a big like kitchen garden. I'm not sure if it's the same word you would actually use in English, but we wanna have a big area for just growing our own vegetables. And so that's not something we've done before. So there's a lot of learning to it. There's a lot of things you can learn. There's a lot of things that you can figure out how to optimize for what works the best for you. So lots to do, lots of experiences to be made, which I like. I like trying to renew myself and take on new skills, new knowledge. So yeah, I'm sure we can find lots of things to spend our time with. Yeah, I can cosplay farmer hat, hay in your mouth. Yeah, exactly. And get a straw type of thing. Yeah, definitely. Maybe I'll have to do that at some point. Yo, so no, but so there's a lot, there's a lot to do, there's a lot to learn, which I'm super excited for. You can say, even, looking ahead, if we're in a situation where we basically will be cutting down some of the trees to be able to create our own firewood. Even that, I did like a small just conversation with ChatGPT the other day. There's a whole big thing in terms of timing. When should you be cutting down your trees? When should you be splitting them up? When should you be drying them? How long should they dry? So there's a lot of things to learn, again, even in terms of what's the proper timing for this. Oh God, did I? Maybe I managed. So yeah, again, that's another thing all of a sudden. Oh, maybe I managed to. See if I can get this one down first. Kill it, kill it, kill it. And then I'm probably not going to survive this one. Oh, damn it. Feels squishy sometimes. It's... How's a grocery drive doable in tractor? Of rhyming with status? Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. I think that I think overall that the let's say overland speed on the John Deere is just not worth it. It's 5 kilometers, but if you're only going, if I don't know, I'm not even sure what the top speed is. I haven't tested that out on flat open asphalt, but compared to what it would take to get there by regular car, I think it's not worth it doing the tractor. But yeah, could be fun. It's also, I think that would you feel inadequate, pulling up in the small one? There's a guy next to you in the big tractor, maybe like the one with the double rear wheels or something, and then you're sitting there in your compact revving it, tractor envy. Is it? But it seems that we talked a lot about wanting to explore the neighborhood, also to figure out if there's other, either of course support shop locally, instead of somewhere farther from where we live, so you can support all the locals, the local supermarket or whatever it's. But all these things, and also we wanted to figure out if there was maybe it seems as if there's actually somewhere close by a local butcher. We're not sure if it's local meats as well, but just being able to maybe, instead of just going to the refrigerator aisle at the grocery store and just getting whatever packed meat has come from the same factory as everything else. Maybe you could be lucky enough to find something that's straight from the local farmer's field, grass fed, whatever, been grown and cared for in style, and then drove into the local butcher, chopped up, so you get something fresh, not even packed. That would be awesome. Check for giggles. Gear 4, 2600 RPM, 26 kilometers. Okay, that's more than I thought. Some tractors are kind of terrifying in Top Gear, yeah. Be careful the brake. Oh, okay, those are done for. Yeah. Right now, I don't think I've had it more above I would say 4 kilometers per hour, but I haven't. There hasn't been a need to in any capacity yet to do more. I've only had to move it from one side of the property to the other, just because I needed to move it out of the way so we could. There was an open bed container being picked up the other day from the people selling the property. You know, they got in like a 10-foot open bed container to, you know, just throw out all the stuff that they couldn't bring to the new place. So somebody just showed up the other day and collected that, so I just had to move the tractor to not be in the way. Missed timing, and now I'm missing the next one instead. Alrighty. Alrighty, let's see if I can make it out alive. Okay. Let's see if I can head out without pulling everything, just because no reason to. Miss. I think this one's coming my way. Aha. LOS was successful. Bastard. Gonna web net me. Think I'll prepare as much as I can to see if I can actually exit the tunnel without pulling everything or getting caught in everything. Okay, let's see if we can make it to the exit. Gearing up the Warlock, did some back of the napkin math, and I think unbuffed I'll be very close to your HP. Nice. That's awesome. 15% stamina talent. Yeah. Warlocks are sturdy, right? You can say the priests are not, but then they have their fortitude buff. So in broad terms, of course, they're all balanced out in one way or the other. But still. Alrighty. We actually managed to finish what we needed. Meep meep. Travel towards Dorn. Okay. Think they're fairly sturdy. If I use Void Walker and use the sacrifice for shield, that's worth like 300 damage. Yeah. I think, I think the definitely the opportunities of the Warlock as well, because you have the pet which can do a lot for you, is viable. Okay, I'm going, before I start this next one, I am going to treat myself to one more quick cup of coffee. So I will be right back. Give me 1 minute. See if I can make it out behind the boxes here. Alrighty, there we go. Let's see if I can make it back in. Heading out to kill all the level 13 mobs I can find, collect some soul shards. You're level 18 on your work. Leap of faith. Test of endurance. So, onwards to find an egg. An alien egg. King's blood. You stole the egg. Let's see if the other one's down here still. Oh, come on. Integrity, yes. It is. It is I. In the flesh. All of it. Gravel snout. Yeah, I could recognize the name. It is I, Leclerc. We talked about it at some point. The fact that, you know, you don't necessarily have a name on Twitch that matches anything in regards to your character, so can be tricky to figure out who's who. But yeah. You can't hear me? Okay. Damn, I got ads. Can't hear now. Okay, fair enough. You got hit by the ads. Jesus. Jesus, Flock. Die already. Question: Swedish and Norwegian sound pretty similar. Finnish somewhat similar to that. Danish completely different. Yes, no, how? Yeah. Welcome back. Okay, so to the elevators. Finnish. Swedish are like Russians when they're drunk. Oh, made it. I think Danes always say that Swedish sounds kind of like Danish, but with a hot potato in your mouth. There was my wife said she spent 1 year in high school in Spain as an exchange student. She said once a week, you know, this is back in late 90s. She said, you know, once a week maybe she could take a second to call her family back in Denmark. And it was, you know, Spanish family, basically 3 generations living together. So there was a house with, you know, 15 people ish, and there was one phone somewhere in the living room. So every time she was calling her mom back home, the entire family was basically just sitting around, you know, listening intently. And she of course was speaking in Danish, but she said whenever she was done, you know, finished the call, wrapped it up, hang up, the whole family would basically sit around saying because they were trying to imitate how they felt the Danish sounded in their ears. So see if we can sell off some of this stuff here. No, not worth it. Interesting. I think there's a lot of difference between, you know, how you perceive other languages to be. I have I had some colleagues who were from, who speak Arabic, and they sometimes when they talk together, it sounds as if they are so mad at each other. It's very harsh in terms of pronunciation. And then, once they wrap up whatever they're doing, and you sort of ask them, what was that about? They just talked about the weather, or they talked about, plans for the weekend. There was nothing to it, but it just, in my ears at least, sounds so rough, as if they're really just, going at each other verbally. So yeah, it's interesting that there can be such a huge difference in how you perceive it. So, Rogue Feather Den. Let's see what's in store. Oh, harpies. Oh, harpies. Not too keen on harpies. They cast too many spells. They always run away. Low health. Annoying as fluck. I guess I could actually have gone and learned some spells. More spells. Let's see here. There's nothing really important. Flame Shock 3 is... we can manage without that. Okay, we'll catch up on that at some point. No biggie. We got Ghost Wolf. That was pretty much the main quality of life. And you made it to level 22, Graves. Coming along. Okay, I might be in a situation where I'll pull a whole lot more if I keep running, so maybe I'll stop here and... I need to go up there anyway. Resist, resist, resist. Might like this. Click the wrong. I thought I clicked it. I didn't click it at all. To be mindful at the time as well. I need to head off at some point, so I have to go pick up all the paints. The paint store has I have an arrangement with the paint store later today to stop by and pick up everything we ordered. They were kind enough to offer to not package it per se, but they would find everything and stack it neatly on like a pallet, so we could just come pick up the entire thing at once without having to walk around the store and find everything ourselves. So I need to go fetch everything. It's a lot. Even they said it was a lot. Click and collect, so to say. Yeah, exactly. Okay, what the? Another silence. Yeah, because I think like even just like the spackling to fill out the different holes in the walls, I think that in itself was like 30 buckets, you know, of 10 liters. Alrighty, let's see here. So basically, what I need to do here, just checking. So I need to kill stuff. So okay, I'm not killing it doesn't matter to kill the harpies per se, but I need to open the food stores and kill Grenka. Very hard. Honestly, we have to conclude that, you know, everything in this game is just really hard. Feels that way. Which, you know, it's just a tough thing to be told over and over when you're not necessarily a skillful enough player, right? Basically, just it's a way of telling you you're gonna have a hard time with everything in this game. Okay, bad pull. Die, die, die. Might as well spend the time waiting. Whack. Okay. So let's see here what meets us on the inside. Grenka. See if we actually find Grenka. It's going to be one of those situations where even just getting to the place where you actually have to do what is actually only the quest is just in itself a journey. You will after you touch the boxes at the end. Yeah. Funny to see that the bot reacts. Okay. Lucipus lift. Fair enough. Unexpected. Not even just a, hey, I'm leaving to go another place. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, completely fair. I just find it, to be a shame that people don't say, you know, hey, I'm going somewhere else. It doesn't have to be more than that, but just, you know, especially when you've been here for a while, I, you know, would appreciate I appreciate people feeling that they want to say goodbye in some way, not just leaving. I got both again. Okay. Oh well. It's not that we can do anything to prevent it anyway, and that's not the purpose. Dear God. We're looking at another. Duke, for the love of. Okay. I feel like my. Either it's lack of mana or it's, just health going down too quickly. They're a bit too tough. They're also level 30, so it's not that it's a complete surprise, but the run of shame. Welcome to the ASMR coffee stream. We'll be here all day, just sipping away, making slurping noises of varying lengths and pitches for hours on end. Followed by the intense stomach cramp subsequent stream. No ASMR, just for, your sanity's sake. It's gonna be one of these quests where before I actually make it to the boss, the respawner up. And they're of such a high level that trying to just skip them and run out might be a death in itself. Okay, we try again. One second, I'll get here. See if I survive this once more. All these flockers. Do not go that way. Do not want to pull more. Oh, for the love of God. They have quite a fast attack speed as well. Okay. Let's see here. No, I didn't answer you yet. I didn't. The new house you're moving into is in the countryside. Yeah, it's a countryside. Oh man, thanks for the follow. It's in the countryside. Yeah, you know we lived in the. I would say we lived in like the outer suburbs already, and now we're moving completely to the countryside. Um, I think we're talking. Well, no, it's not far enough outside of like to be rural if you really boil it down, I think. But still, yeah, completely countryside. I mean, it's one of those places where we're so far out that there's nothing but open fields to either side. You can barely see the neighbors in any direction. So yeah, I think that constitutes as being countryside. Yeah, I'm not looking to blame him either, Sotella. I I think it's basically just me. I'm saddened by the fact that people don't just say bye. That's it. That's all. Just that I'm completely okay with people going somewhere else for whatever reason. I just it just always saddens me that people don't even just say bye. Um, but yeah, I can follow we haven't even had a chance to come back with a touch point on how to solve the current situation we're in with the whole rating concept. So it's completely fair if he didn't want to wait any longer. That's completely okay. I can follow that. It's simply the me being saddened by people leaving without just for good measure saying hi. I mean, he's been here 3 months. So he's not a recent joiner. Okay, it's not even. I haven't even made it past the. I'm just looking for the hell of it. I haven't even made it past the bend yet, and there's so much left to do. Yeah. This feels very much uphill. Definitely does. Feels like a quite challenging place to make it through. Even just resin here, got triple spawn. He stayed that long. Yeah. Damn it! I see that. No, thanks for offering, but I'm probably gonna have to jump off because I can see that time is really advancing, and I have to go pick up all the paints and everything here very quickly or shortly. So I think I might just consider my temporary defeat, jump off here. I might port back just to get some rested XP, and then I'll have to come back and get my revenge at another point in time. I think that will have to be the way it goes. So yeah, not quite as much time today as I'd hoped, but I'm planning on being on again tomorrow. Let me know and I'll join on. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. I think I'll be around tomorrow, so maybe I'll probably look to try getting to that point. So I'll be on tomorrow morning. Then we can always see about exacting revenge. So I think I'm gonna have to call it for now. Jump off. Do some grown-up stuff. Damn it, grown-up stuff. You heard it here first. It's not pleasant. And And then I'll see you guys tomorrow. So if I don't talk to you before then, take care. Always a pleasure. It really, truly is a pleasure to be here, not just talking to myself. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye.